I am Krishnendu Satish from S3CSC. A warm welcome to all of you. The topic for the day is cybersecurity. I'd also like to welcome our beloved guest and speaker for the day, Sri Karunasagaran PR, Project Manager, ITI, Kanji Code.
Thank
Welcome,
you.
sir.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Karunasagaran was kind enough to take us through a session on neural networks and brain stimulation on 23rd November. It was a very valuable session and many of us were very fortunate enough to attend that session. Dear friends, in today's scenario, wherein there is lurking danger of data theft and cyber attacks, cybersecurity plays a very vital role in the information technology field. Over to you, sir, to take us through this session.
Okay. Thank you very much. May I start the slides now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Are you able to these slides?
Yes, sir.
Shall I continue?
Yes, sir. Please switch on the
Okay.
camera, sir.
Are you able to see the slide?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Balu, and very good evening to all. Now, today's topic is cyber security. It's very really interesting subject, and as well as it's need of the hour, because so many thefts, so many thefts of data and application and other resources are taking place in the cyberspace. So in this context, this is very much important. Security, cyber security. Actually, what is cyber security and information security? Actually, cyber security is a subset of cyber security. Cyber security means actually it is belong to cyberspace, some resources in the cyberspace, like our data, application, hardware resources. So many things are there in the cyberspace that we need to be protected. So security is the mechanism to protect some valuable resources. Actually, in what are the valuable resource in the cyberspace is, of course, as we know that it's really data only. Data is very much important. So data is very much important. If it is a financial data, then it is very, very important, because nowadays a lot of people are doing internet banking. All financial transactions are doing through internet. So each and every one of us, knowingly or unknowingly, we will becoming a part of cyberspace. So our financial data or the transactional data, everything is available in cyberspace. So it is an utmost important for us to protect the valuable resource like our financial data. So as I told you that cybersecurity is it's a subset of information. What is the difference between cybersecurity and information security? Cybersecurity is the one which is mainly deals with digitized data. But information security is something which is need not be a digitized data. Even a data in the paper that also belong to information security. Information. Suppose if you're writing some data in the one piece of paper, that also need to, because depending upon its need of the security, some important password. If you're writing a password in a paper, then that also should be protected. It should not be disclosed to anybody else other than you. So that also should be protected. So that coming under information security. So information security means it is protecting the data both digitally as well as non-digitally. But cyber security mainly deals with digital data, security of digital data and applications and other resources. So this CIA triangle, this is the confidentiality, integrity, and availability. This is the main pillars of security. It can be either cyber security or information security. These three pillars are very, very important as well as security is concerned. So any information which can be protected through confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Generally, it is called as CAA triangle or CAA triad. So we'll see what is really confidentiality, integrity, and availability. So confidentiality means we have some data which should not be accessed by others unauthorizedly. So without our permission, it should not be disclosed or they should not know. Suppose your bank account, bank balance, only you need to know. We need not disclose to anybody else other than you. That is called confidentiality. Like this, any information which is not disclosed, it's not supposed to be disclosed to others, some mechanism should be provided. Suppose you have some data in your computer, it should be protected with some password, user ID password. It means only you should be able to log in and see the data in the computer or your system. That mechanism is called confidentiality. And what is integrity? Integrity means there are chances to tamper the data. Suppose you have some data in your system that should not be tampered or modified or deleted. So that should be protected. That kind of protection is called integrity. Integrity means data should not be tampered or altered or deleted by unauthorized person. That is called integrity. Then what is availability? Availability is something, suppose you are running a system like a web server you are running. It should be available around the clock. So that availability, if it is down, it's not running properly, then you are losing your business revenue for many number of reasons, because there are critical servers for banking. Example, will take a banking server. If it is not running or if it is down for a night or daytime, then a lot of customers will be really having problem to access the data or to transact. So business revenue will be lost by the bank. So that is called availability. So that is these are three pillars of security. It can be either information security or cyber security. So what is this? Confidentiality, integrity, and availability should be provided by the security mechanism. So security is a mechanism which should provide these three pillars, these three components, that is confidentiality, integrity, and availability. So any information can be protected through these three components or three mechanisms like this confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Okay. Then what does it mean by security? Why security is needed? Security is needed only if there are some resource which is valuable, need to be protected. So if there are resources which are not valuable, then there is no security is secured. Okay. Suppose we have some jewels at our house, then it should, or money at in your house, then it should be well protected. If there are certain things which are not secured by anybody else, then we need not give full security to that resource. So security is secured when the resource is valuable. Okay. Security is the quality or state of being secure to be free from danger. So one more thing is when threat is there, then security is secured. Even our mankind or our life, there are people, they have lot of security because their life is so valuable and threat. They are undergoing threat. At that time, security is very much essential. So security is the mechanism to protect the resource. Either it can be digital resource or otherwise. Then what is physical security? Addresses the issues necessary to protect physical items, objects, or areas of organization from unauthorized access and misuse. So if we are not providing any security, or then there are chance of misuse, that should be protected through physical security mechanism. Then personal security addresses the protection of the individual or group of individuals who are authorized to access organization and its operation. So actually, threat to the security or the resource is really human being only, because human only needs our resources, nobody else other than human. So we should be protected from the people, because people is the weakest link. It can be outsider or insider. Suppose there are security system exists which will be handled by the people. Then if they want to misuse it, it can be simply misused that resource. So that should be protected. That is personal security. Then operation security, protection of the details of the particular operation or series of activities. So operation security can be provided by means of some technology. We have a lot of technology and the information system management or cyber security management. So management in the sense, management includes people, technology, hardware and software, application, lot of things are there. So that is called operation security. Need of the security, industry need for information security, an organization needs information security for important reasons. To protect organization's ability to function and to enable safe operational application implemented on organization's IT system, to protect data the organization collects and uses, to safeguard the technology assets in use at the organization. So need of the security means when threat occurs, then security is secured. There is no threat, there is no need of security. So basic of every security mechanism is the threat. And what are the threats in the cyberspace? We will discuss in the subsequent slides. So only thing is security mechanism required only if threat is there. Act of human error or failure. That's what I'm saying. In security mechanism, one weakest link is human being. What human error occurs, then there are chance of security threat, accidents, mistakes, compromise intellectual property, piracy, copyright infringement, acts of espionage or trespass, acts of information extortion, acts of sabotage or vandalism, software attacks. So these are the security threats. So we have to mitigate the threats through security mechanism. The problem that we cannot get away from the computer security is that we can only have good security if everyone understands what security mechanisms and agrees with need for the security. Security is a social problem because it has no meaning until person defines what it means to them. So what it says is we should be everyone those who are involved in the security system should be well bothered about security. They should be appraised about security. So that's also they should be trained well how to protect the resources. Suppose there are a lot of people working in IT systems and database management, or they are handling with a lot of valuable data. So they should be, suppose there are people working in the bank. So how they should protect the money or data. They should be well aware of that. They should be much trained in that area. The meaning of security lies in trust. Trust means those who are involved, they should have mutual trust. Every security problem has this question. It needs to answer first. Whom, what do we trust? Who we should believe or we should not trust. That segregation should be there. We should not trust all. We should trust somebody. So that differentiation we should understand. We have to act accordingly. Otherwise, we lose our data or resources. It can be either data or even physical resource. Suppose we are giving some money to untrusted people, so of course it will be lost. So we are normally transacting with money with only trusted people. So if you are giving money to trust people, it will come back. Otherwise, it will lose. So we should understand whom we should trust or whom we should not trust. What we should trust, what we should not trust, like that. In the same way, also digital resource also, because there are resources, we should give access to some people because we cannot give fully protect without giving any access to people. There are a lot of things they should be able to access. So we should give the access privilege. There are people they should access, and there are people they should be able to modify. There are people they are entitled to delete. So depending upon the requirement, we have to give the access privilege to different people or different groups of people. So that's also kind of security. And now we are coming directly to cyber security. So why cyber security is so much required now at present is now most of our lot of people are working in internet. Internet means we are part of cyberspace. So nowadays a lot of data is being stored in cloud. Cloud is the one where it's a large depository of data. There are a lot of bank data and personal data, even other data, so many things. So important data are stored in the cloud. Cloud is the one. There are three types of clouds. One is public, private, and hybrid. So actually, we are storing our data in a third-party cloud because it is maintained by Microsoft or Oracle or some reputed company, Google or something. All are now hosting the cloud, Amazon. So what we are doing is we are putting our data or storing our data in the cloud, which is maintained by the third party. So what we are thinking is we are just trusting those people. Our data will be very much secured in the cloud. Of course, there are companies, big companies, they are providing a lot of security mechanisms to protect our own data. Protection in the sense should not no other unauthorized access to the data, or it should not be tampered, like that. That is security. So what is cyberspace? As we discussed, cyberspace is a worldwide network of computers and equipment that connects them, which by its very design is free and open to the public. So cyberspace is a public domain where all public people can enter into that and access the data. So where lot of people are entering into cyberspace. So security mechanism is a bit complicated because only if it is a private. Suppose if you are keeping as a resource in our house, then we are thinking that it is safe. Suppose if you are putting up our resource or money to some place where a lot of publics are entering to that space, then it is not supposed to be safe. So at that time, the security should be very stringent. Otherwise, we will lose our resource. In the same way, cyberspace is the place where all publics are entering. So a lot of entry points are there to public into cyberspace. So it is necessary to protect our data or application or hardware, whatever it may be in the cyberspace, should be well protected through very good cyber security mechanism. The attackers are mostly malicious pranksters looking to access personal or business machines or disrupt net service with virus programs proliferated via email, usually just to prove they can. However, there are more serious attackers out there whose goals could range from mining valuable data, information, design secrets, research secrets, even disrupting critical systems like stock market, power grids, air traffic controller programs, etc. So all those things are available now. It is available in the cyberspace. Now, cyberspace is a battleground. Actually, cyberspace, as I told, is the internet. Internet, actually, there are a lot of layers in the internet, also web. We will call it as World Wide Web. Web is the space, cyberspace. Actually, web is divided into 3 layers. One is surface layer. Second one is the deep layer. Third one is the dark web. There are 3 layers. One is surface web, deep web, and dark web. Nowadays, we are able to see some news in the paper. There is a dark web where this drug trafficking is taking place. I mean, some drugs are being sold or transacted or sold by one person to other through dark web. Why it is called as a dark web? Dark web is the place where all sort of hackers are present, where they are doing a lot of things, which is immoral trafficking. Everything is done through dark web space, actually. Why it is going to dark web means hacking is done through dark web because the origin is not available. From where the request is coming and where it goes, it doesn't know. That is the reason why the hackers are playing in the dark web. So suppose if we are all using surface web. Surface means just surfing the web pages, or we are doing some transaction, or we are doing something else only in the surface web. So what is the difference between a surface web and the dark web is surface web. Anybody can understand from where some request is coming, where it is going, what is doing. All are transparent, but in dark web it is not transparent. So all the requests are coming through proxy chain. There's a mechanism called proxy chain, so that it goes to request source and destination is not known. Only some mechanism they can understand. Normally, we will not be able to understand what is the transaction, what is the origin or destination. So that's what hackers are using the dark web. Then in between there's a deep web. Deep web means database. Database, we are storing our database or mails. So normally others are not able to see our mail. That is called deep web. So there are 3 layers in the web. That is, one is surface web, second one is the deep web, third one is the dark web. And one more taking place in the dark web is cryptocurrency transaction. Normally, any transaction takes place in the dark web is done through the cryptocurrency. They will not accept normal currency. You know the cryptocurrency like Bitcoin or Ethereum like that. There are certain cryptocurrencies. There are a lot of other cryptocurrencies, but popular is only Bitcoin and Ethereum, which will be used for transacting or paying the amount through dark web. So dark web is a place where all hackers are safe. So I told you security is secured when threats are there. So threat is very huge, then security will be very tight like that. So degree of security is much more if threat is high. So what are the threats? These threats come in the form of computer intrusion, denial of service, virus and worms deployment. Computer intrusion means hacking passive or active. So without knowing or without giving the permission, someone comes to our system or accessing the system. That is called computer intrusion. Then denial of service attacks. I told you in the beginning, there are three pillars in the security, that is confidentiality, integrity, and availability. This denial of service coming under availability. Denial of service attack. Actually, now all services we are getting through servers. Suppose server is down, then clients will not get the service. So that what happens if suppose the server is down for few hours or few days, then their business loss will be much more. So that availability is very much essential for running a business. So that will be stopped through denial of service, denial of loss. It means going on pinging. That is, for example, of denial of service, ping of death. Ping of death means you are giving lot of pinging to a particular system. Ping lot of, suppose it has capacity to take some connections. If it exceeds that connections, then that server will be down. So that kind of attack is called denial of service attacks, DOS. Then one more threat is virus and worms deployment. Virus normally will know virus will be affected through mail or some other applications which will be automatically installed in our system. It will run in our system, then finally our system will not work or misbehave. That is the virus. Again, the same way, worms also will be there. That's also coming something, some worms are coming along with email. We don't know what mail it is. We'll just click the mail, then that the worm application will be installed. And it will create a lot of trouble to our system. Then our system will finally become down. It will not work. So what is the difference between virus and worms is virus will be affected in that system. It will not proliferate to other system, but worms is not like that. It will be installed in the system, then it will spread into other system of in the network. That is worms. So a lot of companies, big companies are spending a lot of money for securing their digital resources or IT infrastructure. Because I told you that suppose the system is not available for hours, then they are losing a lot of revenue. To avoid that kind of situation, they are spending a lot of money for security for in the IT infrastructure to keep the system up and running always 24/7. So they will not be able to tolerate the system is down for an hour or two, because a lot of clients will be, or a lot of transactions will be taking place. All those things will be instanced. So thereby they are losing a lot of money in the business. So in order to avoid that one, they have to secure their systems so that systems will be up and running down the clock. So one more important thing in cyber security or security mechanism is risk management. There are risks in the system, digital system or our server system. So risk means risk is coming from threat. I told you that there are threats in the systems that creates risks. Risk in the sense, suppose something is losing, some data is losing or deleted or unauthorized access. That is also risk. That should be avoided. Thus, a risk management system should be implemented. Cleanup cost of cyber attacks. So once it is some attack happens in our system, then a lot of money has to be spent for making it all right to the previous position. So cleanup cost is so many millions for different companies depending upon the IT infrastructure. So these are some attacks. What is listed, Scam, Code Red, Lovebug, Nimda, all those things are type of attacks, cyber attacks. So through cyber attacks, some business is losing a lot of money to make it all right. Then Trojan horse attack. What Trojan? Trojan is a kind of virus. Trojan horse is activated when software or Trojan is a malicious code or malware. We call it as a malware. What it does is Trojan will not create any trouble as such. What it does is it will open a backdoor of the computer and to the hacker. Hacker will come inside the system through that port. Normally, we will have a lot of ports in the computer. That is 65,536 ports are there. Last port, that is 65,535th port is called Trojan port. What Trojan port is done is it will open up to that port will be open up to the hacker. Then hacker can come inside the computer system through that port and he can create a lot of trouble in the system. That is Trojan. Trojan horse arrives via email or software like free games. So Trojan horse is coming via email because we are daily we are using the email system. Through mail, knowingly or unknowingly, Trojan will come. Trojan horse releases virus, monitors computer activity, installs backdoor. That is installing backdoor. Why installing backdoor? Backdoor is the one which can be used very easily by the hackers. That is backdoor. So normally, any organization or even at house, only security is provided in the front or front gate. Backdoor, there is no security. So it is very easy to enter by hacker through backdoor. That is, so Trojan is doing the same thing. Trojan will open up the backdoor through which the hackers come inside and access resource or delete resource or create a lot of trouble in the system. That is Trojan horse attack. Then denial of service attack, already explained what is denial of DOS or denial of service attack. Really, it affects the availability of the system. What it does is it's going on pinging a system. So ultimately, it's unable to accommodate the connections so that the server or service will be down. That is called denial of service attack. One more category is DDoS, distributed denial of service. So denial of service attacks can come from either from one computer or multiple computers. Multiple computers will constantly ping to a server system. So this system have capacity to accommodate the request. If it exists, then our system will be down or hang mode. So service will not be available to the people, those who are accessing the service. Then spamming attack, sending out email messages in bulk through electronic junk mail. Spamming can leave the information system vulnerable to overload. Less destructive, used extensively for remarketing purposes. So spamming Martin does is normally there are chances we are getting spam mail. Spam mail is a very space consuming mail. So one or two spam mail can totally hang our system. Suppose if you're trying to open the spam mail, then it's a very big mail. Then it takes a lot of space in the memory as well as hard disk. Ultimately, our system will not work. That is spamming attack. Normally, this spam comes through email. So we don't know what
Hello, everyone. So it seems like the speaker has just got disconnected. He has joined back. Okay. So it seems like the speaker has some technical issues in terms of connecting. So please wait until we get a confirmation from the speaker. Thank you.
Let's call the speaker and confirm whether he is trying to join back. Sometimes he may also go unaware. No?
Confirmed, sir. Confirmed. He is going to join, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Hello, Balu? Are you able
Yes,
to?
sir.
Hello, is it audible?
Yes, yes, sir. Yeah, audible, sir. Yeah. Please continue, sir.
Hello, Balu?
Yes, sir. Audible. Please continue, sir.
Some problem in the network. I lost your connection. Just wait. Sorry, just I'll make it all right.
Okay. Okay, sir. Camera வேணா ஆஃப் பண்ணிக்கங்க சார். ஓகே சார். ஓகே. Please wait. The speaker will join within 2 minutes. 2 seconds. Sorry, 2 seconds.
Hello, Balu.
Yes, sir, audible. Please continue, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
Are you able to see the slide?
Sir.
Are you able to
Yes,
see the slide?
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Shall I continue?
Please continue, sir.
Okay, thank you. Sorry for the trouble.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Now there are traditional hacker profile and modern hacker profile. Traditional in the sense very old. Old in the sense few years back what happened, Gmail, Mail, D-Lincoln, Computer Genius. These all the people were acting as a hacker. Now it's not like that. There are a lot of people that are engaged really in hacking activity. Hackers are divided into three parts. One is black hat hacker, gray hat hacker, and white hat hacker. This white hat hacker is called ethical hackers. My voice is clear, Balu? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Voice is clear, sir. Please continue, sir. Okay, sir.
This white hat hacker is called ethical hacker. Ethical hacker is the one, they are actually all the qualities of hacker, but they will not harm the system. That is called ethical hackers. But the other one, that is black hat is not like that. They have very bad motive or intention to damage the system or the damage the business. That is called the black hat hackers. So black hat hacker their intention will be to stop the business or to lose the revenue of the business for third party like that. So in order to achieve our goal of information security, what is required is policy should be existing, awareness, training, education, and technology are necessary for successful application of information security. What is policy? So any mechanism, it can be either security or otherwise. In order to implement a mechanism, policy is required. So in this case, it's an information security policy. Without policy, we cannot implement any security management system. So first policy, then awareness. Awareness in the sense each and everyone, those who are involved in the system should be aware of their roles and duties and responsibilities. That is called awareness. And training. So those who are involved in the security management system should be well trained, because lack of training also will create security hole. If there is a security hole, hackers' job is very easy to enter into the IT system, and they can create a lot of trouble in the system. And education and technology. Technology is also important. Technology should be up-to-date technology, updated technology should be used. Why updated technology is used? Because now we are using some Windows system or some other system. There are security patches should be implemented time to time. When security patches is delivered by the Microsoft, that should be updated in our system. So if it's not updated, then again, security threat will be there in the system. That's called technology. And in addition to this one, we have to make use of firewalls or intrusion detection system, intrusion prevention system, or all mechanisms should be implemented so that our infrastructure or resources will be safe. Otherwise, it is prone to attacks by the hackers. So what are the components of information system? That is people, social engineering, procedures. So I already told some policy is required. Policy and people, social engineering and procedures. So people are the biggest threat to information security. Suppose a person who is inside the security system or working inside security system, if he wants to steal some data, it can be easily done. But those who are outside, very difficult because they have to come into the system through by they have to break some security, then they have to come inside. But those who are inside, then there is no need of a breaking in a security system. They can simply steal the data or resource from the system. Then social engineering, it is a system that manipulates the action of people in order to obtain information about the system in order to obtain the access. That is social engineering. Procedures are written blueprints for accomplishing a specific task step by step. So procedure should be correctly followed. So components of information system, people, hardware, software, data, procedures, all those things are the components of information system. So for information system, people will be there, hardware will be involved, software will be there, data will be there, and procedures will be there. So we have to make everything perfect. So training and awareness should be given to people, those who are involved in the system, so that they can run the system highly secured manner. As well as hardware is concerned, hardware also can have some issues or security holes. So it should be that holes should be packed up with the updates, proper updates. As well as software also have some problems in security. That also patches should be updated properly, time to time, because companies are dispatching the patches. That should be properly updated. And data. So what we are doing, all those things, the important thing is data. Once data is lost, we will lose the revenue to the business. So all those things should be protected. Then procedures should be followed, proper procedures should be followed. So hackers are using a computer to hack another computer. That is, computer is subject of crime, computer is object of crime. Both are computers only. One can hack another system through computer. So both, and it is a computer. Then access versus security. You know that when we go to a particular place where a lot of security is there, then it will take some time to go inside, because we have to scan, we have to, suppose we are going to airport. So your luggage should be checked, or they will be scanned. Then your identity should be provided. So all those things is time consuming. So if security is more, then access time will be high. If there is no security, you simply pass through. So there should have some balance between security and access. When considering security is important to realize it is possible to obtain perfect security. Security is not an absolute. Security is not an absolute means we cannot say one security system is foolproof. It can have some holes. We don't know. Suppose you are installing some antivirus in your system to protect from the virus. Then after that one, the new version of virus will come. Then this antivirus is not sufficient to protect your system. Then you have to go for some other antivirus system. So like this, security is not an absolute. It can violate at any time, it can break at any time by the hackers. So we should keep on updating antivirus or security system constantly. Thereby we can prevent the hacking or losing of the valuable data from our system. So there should have some balance between the security and access. Balance the security and access. Too much security might make access hard to get. The people will stop using the system. On the other hand, a too easy access protocol might be a security hole for the network. A balance must be achieved between these two major. So some balance should be provided, because too much security will cause delay in accessing. Then it really creates problem those who want to access the data. So some balance should be maintained between the security and access. So this is the typical structure of any information management system. In our company, there's an information security management system which is provided for making this banking cards. Now we are producing some banking cards like ATM card, credit card, debit card in our company, where we have a structure like this. CEO is the CAS, CO, CISO. CISO is the one who is in charge of total security. He is the chief of the security systems, under which he has a lot of other security manager is there, and the network manager is there, network admin, network technology, technicians are there. So like this is the structure we are following in our company for protecting our banking card systems. This is one typical example. So now one more mechanism to protect our data is through encryption. You know the data can be either static or in transit, because we are storing a lot of data locally or in cloud that is stored in a particular place for a long time. So in that case, it's very insecure to store as in the plain form. So for that, to protect the data in the storage, what we are using is encryption. Data should be encrypted. Once it is encrypted, even though the person who access unauthorizedly, they will not get the corrected data. So they will not be understand what data it is. For that, what we are doing is we are encrypting the data and storing in the storage. So encryption is the process of converting message, information, or data into form unreadable by anyone except intended recipient. So data should go to intended recipient. So intended recipient in the sense, those who are really authorized to access the data, that is intended recipient. So the person who is not authorized or intended, they should not see what data it is. For that, we are using encryption. So this is the plain text, ciphertext. Ciphertext is encrypted text, then plain text. So we have to make use of encryption mechanism to convert plain text to ciphertext, and we have to use decryption mechanism to convert again back to plain text from the ciphertext. That is encryption decryption mechanism. There are a lot of standards which will be followed by the by encryption standards, that is data encryption standard, DES, 3DES, AES. AES means that's what kind of encryption AES, advanced encryption standard. DES means data encryption standard. 3DES means again data encryption standard by means of 3 keys. Actually, in order to make a plain text to ciphertext, some keys are required. For DES, we require only 1 key, but in 3DES, we make use of 3 keys for encryption decryption. The strength of encryption depending upon the length of the keys. We can make use of 16-byte keys or 8-byte keys or 24-byte keys or 32-byte keys. So encryption, that strength of encryption depending upon the length of the keys. If you use very lengthy key, then encryption will be very strong, very difficult to decrypt. This mechanism altogether is called cryptography. Cryptography means encryption as well as decryption. Both together it is called cryptography. There are 2 types of encryption algorithm. One is symmetric key encryption algorithm. I already told you, for encrypt, we require some keys. One is symmetric key encryption, asymmetric key encryption. Symmetric means whatever key used for encryption will be used in the decryption. Same key will be used for decrypting the data from ciphertext to plain text. That is called symmetric key encryption. Asymmetric key means you use one key for encryption using different key for decryption. That is private public key combination. That is called asymmetric key encryption. So if you use private key for encryption, then you have to make use of public key for decryption. So both keys are different. But mathematically, they have some relation between a public key and its corresponding private key. That is called cryptography or encryption decryption method. So why we should use encryption or decryption? In order to make plain text to ciphertext, so that the person who is not authorized, or who authorized in the sense one who doesn't have the key, they will not be able to decrypt the ciphertext. So they will not be able to get the correct data. So authorized person in the sense those who have the correct key, that is called authorized person. So only authorized person can see the data in the plain form correctly. So symmetric key encryption is just I told the private key encryption algorithm. Single key is used in both sides, sender as well as recipient. Suppose one person sends a data to other person, both will have the same keys. That is called symmetric key algorithm. Asymmetric key is the combination of public key as well as private key. Normally, if I want to send data to someone else, then what I am using is a private key. I am using my private key for encrypting the data, and I will send my public key to other end, so that he can decrypt and use the data. So RSA is the one which is RSA algorithm is the one which is used for asymmetric key encryption decryption. The other one, DES, 3DS, AES, all are used for symmetric key encryption and decryption. So we are making use of encryption methods and authentication devices, cryptographic accelerators, and authentication tokens, biometric and recognition methods. Cryptographic accelerators means it is something hardware mechanism to encrypt and decrypt. Also, we can make use of this one software also. But if it is a hardware accelerator, then this process will be much faster. Then authentication tokens. Through token, we can make use of this encryption mechanism. Biometric recognition methods. The biometric in the sense can be fingerprint or face recognition or iris. It can be used for authentication and this one encryption methods. So based on the classification, cryptographic accelerator, authentication token, biometric recognition, etc. So cryptographic accelerators mean make use of coprocessors meant for cryptography. Biometric device. Now we have biometric device like fingerprint scanner or iris scanner or face recognition system. All those coming under biometric devices for authentication. There are places we make use of this fingerprint. Suppose if you want to enter into one particular place in a company or office, then what we're doing is we are just putting our fingerprint in the scanner. So it will check whether you are authorized to enter the system or not. If it is not authorized, the door will not be opened. In the same manner, we can make use of iris also. Iris scanner is there. or sound also we can make use of for authentication. Machines overtake mankind. Machines overtake mankind in the sense we are using a lot of now. As I told earlier, that we are in the cyberspace. We are doing a lot of transactions through cyberspace. Now banking transaction or otherwise, lot of transactions are doing through cyber. So what it does is, machine is the one which overtakes the mankind. That is, our manual work is considerably reduced through machines. So in future, everything will be in the cyberspace. Even now, a lot of considerable transactions and other data is stored in the cyberspace. That is continent, world, region, campus, building, car, home, body, cell, everything will be in the cyberspace in future. Even now, a considerable amount of all those things are in the cyberspace only. Still, it will be higher in future. So that's for the this one, cyber security. If anyone wants to have queries, questions, please ask.
Any queries?
Thank you, sir.
Sir, any queries there? Questions?
Sir, have you come across any security threats, sir, in your industry?
Yeah, definitely. I was telling you now, we have got banking card manufacturing setup, but actually it is high secured area. High secured area in the sense we are storing bank data, just like credit card number and its CVV number. So a lot of data protection mechanism is built inside. So what we are doing is we are PCI DSS certified. That is payment card industry data security standards implemented in our company for this particular project. So what there are a lot of security mechanisms should be implemented through network security, through firewalls, intrusion detection system, intrusion prevention system, then lot of antivirus and to protect the data and encryption standards. We have to make use of this one because this data should not be stored in the plain form. So we are making use of some advanced encryption mechanisms. So thereby we are protecting the data from the third parties bank. So we are the vendors to SBI. So they are giving a lot of data to us. So it is our duty to protect the data in secured manner. So after completion of this, making the cards or sending back the cards to those people, then that immediately we have to remove the data from our side. So all the security mechanism is implemented. So what actually in order to, we are developing a system or develop a system, security system, it should be certified through third party. That is, it is called the VAPT, that is vulnerability assessment and penetration testing. So there are agencies that are conducting VAPT for whether the security is okay or not. Then VAPT will be conducted. Then they are certified, then it is okay. So quarterly we have to do the VAPT process. So for why we are doing all those things in order to protect the data resource stored in our system. Okay, that is, of course, as it's a bank data, it is very important data. So what Frank is saying that if at all any incident happens, then our license will be lost. Then further we cannot go for manufacturing of the cards, like that ATM card, debit card, credit card, like that. So what I'm saying is we are always under threat. So that to put our security mechanism in high alert. Okay. Okay, Balu. Hello. Hello, Balu. Hello.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Okay, Balu. Any other questions from any other side? Any other person?
If you have any questions, please type them in the chat box.
Okay.
Please propose vote of thanks, ma'am.
Okay, sir. The last but not the least, we would like to thank you so much for taking your time off from your busy schedule. I'm sure and optimistic that some of the thoughts and insights provided to us today would enrich our knowledge. We do look forward to more such informative and valuable sessions from your side. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, thank you,
Thank you,
Balu, and all those who are present in the session. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir.